There is a profound difference between the mountaintop where a promise is given and the valley where that promise is tested. In our grand narratives of faith, we like to leap from glory to glory, from the courage of rolling up the tents to the triumph of claiming the land. But history is rarely written in straight lines. More often than not, the path of promise leads directly into the mouth of a crisis. Abram had abandoned everything. He had walked away from his country, his security, and his family's protection, risking his life on the sheer authority of a voice in the dark. And his reward? A land of dust. A land of starvation. The text states bluntly, "Now there was a famine in the land, and the famine was severe." Imagine the psychological fracture of this moment. Did the voice lie to me? Did I trade the fertile banks of the Euphrates just to starve to death in a forgotten wilderness? Before Abram can even build a permanent home, his faith collides with the brutal, material reality of human survival. When starvation tightens its grip, the high-altitude ideals of faith are often the first things to burn. Desperate and terrified, Abram does what thousands of nomads had done before him. He looks south toward Egypt, the ancient world's undisputed breadbasket, kept alive by the reliable, pulsing waters of the Nile. But as the green borders of Egypt loom in the distance, a subtle transformation occurs. Abram stops acting like a prophet carrying a divine covenant, and starts acting like a vulnerable refugee trying to survive a lawless border crossing. He looks at his wife, Sarai. He realizes her beauty is no longer an asset, it is a death sentence. In the courts of the pharaohs, a beautiful woman was a prize to be taken, and her husband was simply an obstacle to be eliminated. Fear takes the wheel. Abram concocts a desperate, pragmatic lie. "I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake." The man who trusted God to guide him across a continent cannot trust God to protect his life at the border. He reduces his wife to a shield. The deception works perfectly. Too perfectly. Sarai is noticed by Pharaoh's officials and taken directly into the royal harem. Abram is left standing outside the palace gates. But instead of being executed, he is celebrated. Because he is believed to be the brother of this beautiful new woman, wealth is poured at his feet. The text notes that Pharaoh treated Abram well for her sake, lavishing him with sheep, cattle, male and female donkeys, and servants. Look closely at the devastating irony of this image. Abram is becoming unimaginably wealthy. His tents are overflowing with livestock. But the cost of his wealth is the surrender of the covenant. The entire divine promise hinged on a future child to be born from the union of Abram and Sarai. By trading his wife into a pagan king's harem to save his own skin, Abram has essentially bartered away the future of humanity for a few herds of sheep. He traded the eternal promise for immediate survival. Abram is silent. Sarai is trapped. Humanly speaking, the story of redemption is over before it even begins. But the covenant does not depend on the perfection of the man who received it. It depends on the stubborn fidelity of the one who spoke it. God steps into the palace, not with a word of comfort for Abram, but with a silent, devastating judgment upon the house of the oppressor. But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife, Sarai. For anyone familiar with the grand tapestry of biblical history, this moment should make the hairs on your arms stand up. This domestic crisis in Genesis 12 is a precise, micro-prototype of the entire Exodus story that would unfold centuries later. Think about the parallels. A famine drives a patriarch to Egypt. A pharaoh takes what does not belong to him. God strikes the house of Pharaoh with plagues. And ultimately, the Hebrews are sent away weighted down with Egyptian wealth. History was rehearsing its greatest liberation theme in the private bedrooms of a panicked pharaoh. When Pharaoh discovers the source of the curse tearing through his palace, he calls Abram into his presence. And what follows is one of the most humiliating confrontations in sacred literature. The pagan, polytheistic king, a man who claims to be a god himself, stands on the absolute moral high ground, fiercely lecturing the chosen prophet of the Most High on basic human ethics. "What have you done to me?" Pharaoh demands. "Why didn't you tell me she was your wife?" Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go." Abram does not utter a single word in his defense. He cannot. He stands utterly exposed, a wealthy man stripped of his dignity, expelled from the land of plenty by a king who showed more honor than the prophet. Abram returns to the wilderness exactly how he left it, a flawed, fragile human being. But as he steps back into the dust of Canaan, he carries a lesson engraved into his soul, that the call of faith is not a guarantee of a seamless life, and the God of the covenant is a God who can protect his promise, even from the very heroes he chose to carry it.
Like and subscribe for next historical.